How you doing?
Finally, I'm feeling good.
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting a long time to talk about this. I know you have too.
Yep.
Hey, we're gonna do the sweepstakes again. As usual, we're gonna give away. What are we gonna give away, Steve?
Well, we're gonna give away in this
At 250.
at 250. We're gonna give away 2 digital deluxe editions of the game. We're gonna give away 2 vouchers worth 67,500 stubs, and then we're gonna give away 6 standard 10-pack bundles.
Yep, and so stick around. Make sure that you're on Twitch, because you got to be on Twitch to put the keyword in, and we'll give it to you at 250. No purchase necessary. Okay, you got to live in the U.S. You have to be present to win. The full rules are at Show Nation. I know how stoked you guys are going to be to read those, and we will never ask for your password. Let's just look quickly at what we're going to talk about today. A little overview of the agenda. We're going to talk about our expanded creative player. We're going to talk about the new archetypes. We're going to look at the gameplay changes that are specific to Road to the Show. We're going to look at the focus training part of the progression system. And then we're going to take a look at age regression. We're going to show you Big Albert Bell's ratings at the end. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let's get into it right now. I would like to welcome to the stream Gil Garcia.
Come on in.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, Gil?
All right.
Gil, tell the people what you do for us here.
I'm the lead character artist for MLB The Show, and we work together. Pretty much, we make the all the players, all 1,500 of them, roughly, trying to make them look as great as we possibly can, and make them look as hot and handsome and just awesome as they are.
And technically, Gil works on infinite players because he also works on the assets that you guys use to make your custom players. Yep. And we're going to jump right into character creation right now and look at some of that stuff. And we're going to go to the central region because that's the best one.
Oh, man.
And let's see, any suggestions on what position we should take here? This is always a fun one to consider. Let's see, shout them out if you got them, and we'll just end up probably just picking our favorite anyway. But if you have any suggestions, we'll wait for it. And then what we're going to look at, we're going to look at a bunch of new hairstyles. We're going to look at the improved hair textures. We're going to look at a bunch of new face types in the stance creator, which you've already seen a little bit of. But what do we got? We got a lot of.
It's a good spread.
We got a big spread. I'm seeing a lot of shortstop. Seeing some center field.
Some left field. I saw that.
I mean, everybody's drafted as a shortstop, right? So
usually,
let's pick a shortstop.
Everybody wants to be there.
Will you play short, son? You can go right.
And I'm gonna make a bat left like my buddy Steve Murka here on the end of the couch, the living legend.
There it is.
And here you can model off of a MLB player, or you can go custom. Which one do we want to do here? Does it matter?
Do custom.
Let's do custom. And let's take a look at some of the physical appearance stuff. Gil, talk to us about what has improved with a lot of these hairstyles.
The guys are working a lot on improving like the color and the fades. That's including like the skin tone, matching with like the fade color of the hairs going into it. It looks a lot smoother this year. It's just a lot more even. It's just a lot more natural looking. Before it was okay before, but I think we definitely made some leaps and bounds on it. It just looks just a lot more realistic too. And we've got some new hairstyles. We replaced a few of them, just a handful, just with some more that people would probably actually try to rock. Like this guy is looking really good right here.
Oh yeah.
You know, who doesn't want the old ducktail on that? Bringing the 80s back. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. We put in a lot of work on trying to get those skin tones to also be look a little bit more smooth and also more realistic as well. Just to match with the tones of the hair. Unless you deliberately go and try to bleach your hair out or something, which that will work too if you really want to do it.
We did a lot of work last year, right, on this these face shapes, face types, a lot of different ones that you can start with, and they're all based on real people, right? That we scanned in.
Yep, and we kind of just alter some of the shapes a little bit, but you can start off with any one of these shapes and then go and alter them further by adding everything you want to them. You can stretch and pull them a little bit, do of course all your hairstyles into it, and then of course all your facial hairstyles. The facial hairstyles as well.
Now, one fun thing, and because we don't usually see you with a big beard like this around here.
That's right, man. I'm pulling my inner Nick here.
Tell them why you're rocking that beard right now.
All right, so there's a little event that we have here in the office called we call it the Real Life Creative Player, and what we do is we make an announcement a few months prior to the event itself, and we invite everyone to participate and just grow out as much facial hair as you can. And then on the day of the event, we just pick some of the facial hair designs that are actually in the game, and then we just have them shaved into our face. So we get to walk around looking like these guys.
And so you're going to use this guy, right? You're going to use this wheel.
Yeah, this came.
The wheel of
Thank you, Eric.
Of bad fortune of what they're going to face. And you did this. This is the third annual, right? This is the third annual. I think we have a clip, right, from a little short clip of last year that we're going to show you guys because they're going to do this again this year. Let's see that clip.
Look at that.
Do we have audio on this clip, man? Are they hearing audio in the wild or? No? Okay, so they can still hear us. So yeah, you're seeing a lot of the character artist guys here. This is kind of the outcome of what ended up happening when they spun the wheel last year and ended up getting these hilarious... Oh, they can't hear it. No, they're shushing me. So they're going to do that again, and I am honored to welcome to the couch Jody Kelsey, senior producer, been here longer than I've probably been alive. And what we're looking at right now is what Jody usually has on his face, which is more of the goatee that's actually named after him. He's the namesake for this facial hair. But he has grown his beard out, and we're going to do a live spin right now to decide what they're going to do to Jody's face tomorrow.
All right, let's see.
So, let's see, make sure we don't get a weird reflection. Go ahead, Jody. Spin the thing and see what happens.
Okay, you good? You got a good hold?
Give it a good spin.
Do a good one. No mustache.
Oh man, give him the mustache C. We got the Jody.
Matt, can you make it full screen so they can see this?
Look at that. That's terrible.
That's ridiculous.
I think that's a rule. You can't actually.
You can't have.
What you already.
You're gonna re-spin then.
You gotta spin again.
That was great.
That's totally wrong.
Oh man, now you know it's gonna be sticking with the mustache.
Nice try, Ramon.
Yeah.
It's a much better spin.
Do we have the Ramon?
Okay.
Ooh, the King Tut.
The King Tut.
And that's not far.
Nice.
You know, that's a pretty easily recoverable back to the Jody. So I would say that's better than some of those other mustache options for sure.
I can do that.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Well, all right.
Pretty awesome.
Hey, best of luck with that, Jody.
Oh yeah.
See you tomorrow.
So we're actually going to show the results. Like the actual event happens tomorrow, but we'll show the results on the dev tournament.
I think the dev tournament stream we're going to because that's a pretty long stream too. We're going to sprinkle in the results of all the devs that participated in the before and afters. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Good. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
See you then. Why don't we spin the wheel again to see what the created player gets?
Let's try it.
Come on in, Steve. This is fun. I like wheels. Spinning things. Bear trap. All right, so let's find the bear trap.
All right, excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
See you.
See you later, Gil. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Good luck with your facial hair. He got a really creepy one last year. Where's the bear trap? I'm lost.
Back.
It was the bear trap, right?
Yeah, the bear trap.
There it is.
Yep, down there.
All right, and you can change the length, and we're going to blow it out, obviously. Look at that. Boom.
Oh.
Cool.
Nice.
The randomizer is always fun on these things. Let's take a look at the stance creator real quick. We've already looked at it, so we're not going to take a ton of time with it, but it's pretty fun. You start with whatever stance you want. Let's do this one, why not? And then you can, from the starting point, right, you can edit all that stuff.
And if you hold R2, you can do the Z offset.
Lower your hands.
Bring 'em out.
I'm gonna lower these hands and get them nice and close. And I wonder, it's always fun to try to break these things, and I know that people are gonna find ways to do it. Ton Kramer, the engineer that set this up, though, is too good at making it unbreakable. I'll tell you what, it's going to be real hard, but I'm confident that you guys are going to be able to make something that just looks ridiculous. I hope so. Anyway.
Got faith.
But no, it actually, the restrictions, like, let me just show you, if you guys haven't seen it in the other ones, it will, like, literally refresh, right? So, like, you can try to push the limit, and it will, like, push you back based on the animation when it detects that it's clipping. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. We are going, that was a debug widget thing. Whoop. Now what we're going to do is we are going to quickly jump into the Bowman Scout Day, which is back again this year. You're going to do the Scout Day, but the story's a little different this year, and we'll let you listen in on that. We're kind of setting a different tone. So let's see. We'll just go ahead and jump into that. And you guys should be able to hear the audio on the narration. We're maintaining that kind of documentary style feel, but you'll see some things have changed.
Yeah. The intro that we saw coming into stream was
set the stage a little bit on it, right?
Set the stage a little bit on that. I affectionately call that a love letter to baseball part 2.
Nice.
Just days before the 40-round MLB draft, some lesser-known prospects get one last chance to make an impression at Bowman Scout Day.
Now, usually I believe you'd be hearing music here, but we're...
His name having finally been called, an anxious prospect steps up for his turn to put his plate skills on display.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it a little bit. And so talk about that a little bit more, Steve, about what's changed this year with the kind of approach where people are starting.
Never has this player had the chance to command the attention of so many big league buyers. He looks to make his case for draft consideration.
So, as narrator setting up for you, the idea is that you're not coming in as a top-end prospect. You know, you're not going to be drafted early in here. What it is it's you scratching and clawing to get a team's attention and to find your way into the draft. So you're going to be that blue chipper, you're not the blue chipper, you're going to be that late round, mid to late round kind of guy, that dark horse that nobody's really giving a look to.
Scout Day participants are not considered blue chip prospects.
Right there.
But they all have blue chip aspirations.
And don't we all have those blue chip aspirations?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So here you're going to try to better your way into, get the attention, try to at least position yourself nice in that draft in that sense of being that last minute look at.
Right. We need a widget controller because we got this widget text. Can you hand me that?
Yeah.
Because it's blocking the, well, we're blocking it on the couch too, but on the bottom right there, the scouts are now evaluating everything we're doing, right? Mm-hmm. This controller isn't turned on. Get out. Let's go.
Did you?
Is it going to get out? No.
Nope.
Warning track power.
Yeah.
If we hit this mat, we're going to go to the XMB. I don't know if that's a problem, but grab a new user real quick. Here, I'll do it.
That was how you turn. Oh, there it is.
Right. I think.
There you go.
Sorry about this. This is how we do it. We do it live. Do not sign in so that we can go in here and.
A player
Where's
looks
the batter
to follow
info?
up his efforts at the plate
Game.
with a demonstration of solid defensive fundamentals.
No, you cannot pick a team. You guys might have got a. We're
debug.
subjecting you. Yeah, we have this debug thing that allows us to force ourselves into certain situations, but I'm not going to be able to pick a team this year. You can.
Standard is near perfection. This prospect looks to deliver as clean a performance as he can.
Some of you that played last year know that you're going to be able to influence what team you end up on, certainly through free agency, obviously, but also while you're playing, your agent will check in with you, and you'll be able to give them feedback about if you're happy, if you're not happy, where you want to end up. So then this is the kind of the same concept. I'm actually going to exit out of it right now, but because we don't want to spoil everything, you guys are going to get to play through that again. and we're going to welcome a new shining face onto the couch, Mr. Kyle Blake.
Ooh, come on in.
Come on, Mr. Kyle.
going
Kyle
on?
2.0, as you may have heard him referred as in other streams. Not to be confused with Kyle Saul.
New and improved.
New and improved, the new baby. Still working on getting that driver's license, but no.
Don't need the booster seat.
This is where it's going to
Some
get
restaurants.
fun, because now we get to talk about a bunch of fun new stuff.
Some
So
archetypes.
exactly. Why don't you guys set the stage for what we're about to look at while I navigate to it here?
Yeah, so now you're going to be able to pick the type of player you want to be. There's not going to be any more just kind of aqueous, weird players. It's just going to be, you're going to pick the type of position. He's going to have strengths and weaknesses. It's going to create a really interesting experience for you guys. Create a more realistic baseball player.
Why don't we start by pulling up like some slides? We'll show you the infield ones, but Matt, can you pull up like maybe start with the the outfield maybe?
Yeah, let's go to the outfield.
And take a look at. We're going to show you guys some of the specific archetypes we have. We got a bunch of them.
Ooh, ball hawk.
Yeah.
So these are unique to the outfield, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This one like your little D. Gordon, maybe a little Byron Buxton, you know. Got that speed.
Yeah.
Some great fielding, not much power.
And talk about how the speed, right? We
Yeah.
saw that he started with extremely high speed, higher speed than we've ever seen before on a starting player, right? Because the feedback for years has always been, oh, speed doesn't make any sense because you can't train. You can't start as a 30 speed and train to a 99
Right,
speed. Either you
Not
kind of have
realistic.
it or you don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys come in and they start off, and at the beginning of their careers, they are priding themselves as a speedster, right?
Exactly. Billy Hamilton, he's been fast his whole life. He didn't just all of a sudden wake up one day and decide he's going to be a little bit faster. So
Exactly.
It really fits.
And so we have each one of them have strengths and weaknesses, right?
Yeah, exactly. Another one just like that speed is actually arm strength. So you can see 75, he's going to start with closer to what his max cap arm is going to be. That's just kind of like speed. You don't just wake up one day and just get a crazy cannon arm. It's kind of what you got.
So what's the starting number in yellow? What's that mean?
Yeah, so that's your starting attribute that once you pick this archetype and hit the ball field, that's the attribute you will have. And you can see right next to it is the max cap. That's through all your progression, that's the absolute max you can hit, except for equipment. So when you do equip equipment, you can surpass that max cap.
Nice, nice. And then we have suggested positions for archetypes, which mean
pretty
much this is what this archetype would be best in.
Exactly.
Meaning they get to a 99 OVR for this.
I don't know if they're hearing this. Go ahead. We'll finish. Do we have more of the outfield ones?
Yeah.
Let's keep working.
So we
through
have the powerhouse. It looks like. So out of the 5 tools, they get 2 of the 5 tools for strengths, and one of them is their weakness. So he's trading off power and he's getting power and contact and trading off speed. So primarily a corner outfielder. Should be said though that an archetype isn't pigeonholed just to that position.
Exactly.
That's suggested. You
So
can be
still
any
play
position.
Centerfield here.
Absolutely,
Okay, nice.
absolutely.
Nice.
You can be any position you want with that.
Yeah,
it just may not mean that you will become that coveted 99.
Exactly. And just like last year, I mean, you are going to be subjected to the needs of the ball club and the organization that you land on, and then that sort of like workforce of who's available where over time, how players are developing throughout. Every road to the show is different. Every road to the show is dynamic. You have, of course, control over whether you want to assert yourself as I'm going to be stubborn, I'm not going to move, or I'm going to do what's best for the organization moving forward and that kind of stuff, just like last year. But yeah, archetype is independent of position. It does have suggested positions, but you can do whatever you want, really.
Yeah, and we even offer like an all-around utility type of guy and a solid option.
Right. And there are situations, right, where you actually get an opportunity to realign your archetype based on a position change suggestion, right,
Absolutely.
in the game.
Absolutely. If the need of the organization and you go along with it and you're moving from an outfield to an infield or even within the infield, you have the opportunity to change your archetype or keep it the same
Yeah.
if you're staying within, say, the infield.
Solid Option's one of my favorite
Yeah,
choices because it's so versatile.
Yeah, once you put equipment on him, this is about as close as you're going to get to a 5-tool player. He probably will be a
Exactly.
5-tool player with him.
Yep.
He's very balanced.
He can get the speed to steal the bags.
Yeah.
He's not going to get the 99 power in the end unless you equip him with all the best. Yeah, I was going to say
right, yeah.
all the best equipment in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see. Is that the last one for the outfield? Do we have another one? It is. Well, let's go to the.
We got pitchers. Or
Let's go to the
Matt.
live. Let's go to the live game
Let's check it
now
out.
and check out the infielders, and then we'll show you the pitchers. So
Nice.
I kind of like navigated here. You're going to end up making this choice where, Steve?
So after Bowman Scout Day, you'll make this choice before you head into the Tops showcase games. So you're going to have a representative from the Scouting Bureau come and ask you what type of infielder or outfielder or pitcher do you see yourself becoming. And so altogether, we've got we got 4 in the outfield, we've got 6 in the infield, we've got 3 starters and 2 relievers, so it's 15.
Yeah.
15 to choose from.
So let's take a look at him. The Wizard.
Ozzie Smith.
Yep. And again, this is the one, like we said, starts at a 90 speed out of the
You're
gate.
stealing bases in game 1.
So he's gonna make himself known on the base paths real early.
Exactly.
And he's gonna be an outstanding fielder. That's a fun one to start with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Can't teach speed.
Then we've got good hands.
That guy's going to
Garvey
rake
and Seager there.
99
Yeah.
contact and 75 power.
He's got, yep, and his fielding is solid.
Yeah.
He's got mid-range speed, but his fielding, best hands.
He'll be able to
Totally.
stretch it to 2, but
Mr. Reliable again.
Yep. There's another
This is your solid
utility guy.
option type
Yep.
guy, yeah.
Solid option for the infield.
yeah.
Solid
Slightly
across the
different
board.
on some of the scores though,
Right.
because outfield values other things than infield does.
Infielders different than
Yep.
outfielders.
Right, and arm strength, that starts higher as well, a lot higher. Like we really looked at like what are those intrinsic things that when a player is drafted, they have them already. They and the whole progression system has been designed around it.
Exactly.
The field general, who is
Yeah.
just a monster in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooks Robinson, just nothing past him there.
No.
You get him progressed up, and he's gonna be.
Totally has it on lockdown.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
see him kind of as like a 5-6 hitter maybe, but he's the captain of your defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, again, throw a diamond bat on him or a diamond.
Yeah. And maybe
There
he
you
will
go.
be that 3-4 hitter. Yeah.
You got your classic power corner.
Yep.
See a lot of these guys,
Nolan Arenado.
and you can get them up. And also, you're gonna be able to. You're gonna have to make choices along the way here. Like we're looking right now at the starting and the max cap, but the max cap is the end game. I mean, you're gonna have to make choices along the way, and we're gonna get into that, and you'll see exactly how that works. And then, of course, the bat first. And so, as a shortstop here, it's kind of ranked actually in the order of what it's suggesting. Based on the position we picked, right? Like these shortstop ones are at the top here. But like we said, you can pick one out of the way. So why don't
Right.
Yeah.
can do
why
whatever
don't we
we
do
want.
the Brian Dozier?
Yeah,
There you
like
go.
that.
There you go.
Pick the power
I like hitting
corner
bombs.
in the middle infield and see if he can
Absolutely.
stick there, right?
Absolutely.
And what's it gonna say?
And,
It's usually first and third base, which we know. Corners, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Even so, we'll just stick with that one.
Let's be
It's
stubborn.
giving you a little information there, just letting you know.
Yep.
And so we did jump ahead here. So we have already been drafted, and we're meeting with the manager.
In a development league, this prospect has been sent to open the following season with a Double-A club.
So you have caps.
Yeah, only if
Yeah.
the question is there only offensive caps? There are caps across all. We were shown
Yeah.
fielding and speed
Yep,
and
exactly.
and all of them, and speed is a big one. I mean, it's one of those things where either you're a guy who starts with it, and if you don't start with it, you're not going to ever be the 90-99 guy. You got to start as the speedster if you want to try to retain that speed and be, like perennial base stealer.
Exactly.
So now the caps are everything, and we'll see a little later how that works. So here we are at the beginning, and we're gonna. Okay, so this is the first manager is talking to you,
A welcoming manager
ready for
offers
double
some
A?
simple wisdom.
Do you know how a journey 1,000 miles begins?
No, not with a stop at the
With a good-
bathroom.
It should have today.
Yeah.
Giving you a little pep talk here, the coach.
And a few words.
And we got some performance gains activated.
Before we get
And
going.
we're going to skip straight into the game here, and we're going to show you the first part of our completely new Road to the Show progression.
Yeah. So like we've said, training points are gone.
Oh, we got to do pitcher types, huh?
Think
I
of the
forgot about
past.
that. Let's do that right now.
So right now? Okay.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Okay,
Sorry,
let's
guys.
bring it up.
That's my bad. I'll pause the game. Let's pull up the pitcher types right now, Matt.
Please, sir.
Por favor. Control freak. Okay.
All right.
This is your Clayton Kershaw Royales wall.
Control
Not a
and
lot of
fielding.
Yeah.
Doesn't walk a lot of people. Has good pinpoint.
Yeah, maybe not going to throw, 100 miles an hour
Yeah.
Exactly.
ever,
So
as
can
we'll
blow
see,
anybody
but
away.
he can pinpoint his pitches.
90 hit per 9. That's pretty big.
Yeah. And that 99 control. Oof. And he's not too bad on the velocity. He'll bring it in the low 90s.
All
maybe
these
like
guys
that.
have the capability
Yeah.
to be an absolute beast.
Oh,
Cy
absolutely.
Young
That-
guy.
Totally. And
So-
that break is good with an 80 on that.
Then you
Oh,
got the flamethrower, which is
Thor.
look, it's right off starting with his batting attributes. Yeah, kind of like Thor, right? His strength, velocity, but instead of fielding, he can actually hit the ball if you decide to go that route and train it up. But again,
And
you're gonna
no
have
pitcher
to
right there.
you're gonna have to prioritize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he will be able to reach.
And that K per 9.
K per 9.
Yep.
Ooh.
That velocity.
99 velocity.
Yep.
This guy's going to be throwing some heat.
And then playing filthy.
Oh yeah. See that one I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
actually a lot. I totally like this one.
Yeah.
I like that fall off the table breaking ball, and it
Absolutely.
just totally just make people look silly when they
Exactly.
try
99
to
break.
swing.
This
Yeah.
guy's gross.
Yeah, and his control is going to be good, velocity be there, but yeah, totally with that break, just nasty break.
Okay, cool.
Yes, please.
Let's look
Go
at
to
closers. We got a couple, two closer
We got two.
archetypes.
The rock star.
Good Billy
Absolutely
Wagner
throwing
action.
gas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, velocity and makeup. And the big difference, as you guys may know, between a closer and a starter is that pitching clutch attribute, that ability to
good point.
come in the clutch situations and shut it down.
Yeah. The trickster.
The trickster.
Brad Ziegler.
Yeah.
Dennis Eckersley.
You don't have to blow it past them. You just got to be trickier than
Absolutely.
them.
It's deceptive. Interesting thing to note here is, unlike the position players, if you pick a closing pitcher, you have to pick a closing pitcher archetype. If you pick a starting pitcher, you have to pick a starting pitcher archetype. You can't go across.
Now I was playing a little bit of the trickster too. That's been fun. That's a good challenge to really get it in there and choose the right pitches.
I'm just now noticing that I'm going to have to bum these guys out a little bit because it does show 6 slots as if you can have 6 pitches, but you can still only have 5 pitches. That 6th slot in there is in there for other reasons, unfortunately, that maybe we should look into not showing so that we give people a false sense. I'm sorry. I know you guys. I apologize.
Cheer him up with some gameplay.
Yeah, let's start. Let's play the game and let's talk about base games.
Yeah, so training points are gone. Now we really wanted to focus on making every single pitch, every single action super important. That's
Start off.
It's a pretty good start. Hit it hard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Through a power swing too.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So everything you do is going to affect your attributes. Whether you get a hit, your contact's going to go up. You hit a home run, your power's going to go up. You guys will kind of see as we go along. But
This crappy text off of the thing. Where is it?
I'm going to affect
I
some
thought I just
fielding
went
base
game.
games right here.
Game?
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Make the play.
Multitasking. Look at that! From the carpet!
ground, making
Oh
plays.
my gosh, Kyle Blake
Still
is
got
too
that.
good. That's why you'll see him in the World Series division in
There you
Diamond
go.
Dynasty, right?
Absolutely.
Ranked seasons. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, he's so good. He one-handed on the carpet caught a pop-up.
You got some fielding and some reaction base games there for making the play. Probably should have lost some reaction there. It only took you 10 minutes to move.
Hey, as long as you
get
get
that.
there,
Yeah.
you make the play.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's all that matters.
No harm done.
Fouled it off.
So one of my favorite parts about especially hitting base gains is the swing thing, right? And how, based on what swing you're using now, it's going to actually affect the way that you progress, right? So if you want to be a power guy, then you're going to want to take square power swing hacks, because that is going to weight more of the gains or losses in the power direction. Whereas same thing with the contact. If you want to be that ball hawk or that guy who's going to try to get on base or beat out, ground balls and steal some bags, consider the contact swing.
Exactly. So there's still a good amount of control even in this base gain system to be the type of player you want to be.
So demonstrate that out. Even though I'm a power guy, I'm going to use a contact swing right now and see if I can put one in play.
Okay.
And I did, and it's going to be, looks like, that's actually carrying. So what are they going to give me?
Just got under a little too much.
That's a wash, because I hit the ball hard. I hit it about,
It's a
3
play.
feet.
Right. You headed back to the dugout a little disappointed, but you still crushed it.
So you mentioned no more training points, which also means you can't obviously purchase training points with stubs if they don't exist in the game. That was a decision we made this year to just, with all the new systems and the progressions, we just wanted to focus on getting that progression system right.
Absolutely.
Roll that too.
Roll it up.
If it's something that people end up missing, then they can ask for it, and we usually try to respond to things people ask for, but
still got base gains for the putt out at second, though.
Yeah, and he didn't throw it away, so you got some arm accuracy.
Yeah, he made it right through.
All right, we got one out. We're seeing a little preview of Chris Gill's going to come on and talk about some of the infield gameplay changes here, and you're going to see some of them, but we'll wait till let Gill talk about that stuff. It's quick, beats it again, but good reaction, good fielding, good arm accuracy.
Still making the right plays. You are a power hitter, right?
And you want to see me take some hacks?
Let's see you put one out.
Oh boy. Maybe I'll use the Showtime feature.
Oh, okay.
Showtime feature is back. I'll use it right now. You can only use it up to 1 time a game, even 0 times depending on your perk set, but let's see here. We'll get a red. I'm going to give it a... There we go.
Ripped it.
Oh,
okay. Okay. I'll take that.
With a power swing, so I should get...
Some power gains.
Boom.
And there's a batting clutch.
Because we had runners on.
Right in scoring position. There you go.
And I convert.
Yep. Absolutely smoked it.
Putting together a game, no problem. Here we go. What am I?
Big deal.
I've hit the ball hard a few times.
Yeah. 2 for 3, 2 for 4.
Got a good RBI. The game's over. See a little XP for our profile.
There you go.
Feels good to dominate a game like that. 10-2, the final in this game. Altoona were on fire with the bats and ended up with 19 hits.
Okay. Boom.
What is this? What's this, Merker?
So now, tell us what we're seeing here, Steve.
This is your base gain screen. So after the game, as you transition to the next game, we're back to the front end to the clubhouse. You'll be able to see a screen that tells you everything that happened with your training in that particular game. So right here under the gains tab, you're only seeing all the attributes affected in that game. Positive or negative, they show up here.
All positive right here. Yeah.
So your net gains were positive. If you go to the breakdown, which is next one over, you can see there's your milestones, but if you L2, R2, there you go.
Oh, right here.
You can actually see what happened in there. So you see it, there's up to 3 slots, so you can do really, really well or really, really bad in that sense, and you can see the attribute affected. So at the bat, at plate, you got contact versus right, your power versus right, and your batting clutch went up in those situations. And then you can always go look at my attributes and see where all your attributes are. So right now we're giving you the vision of the 1 point to the next point. So it's the 50 to 51 journey or such. So if you look at here, you have progression, and over to the right you have your description panel. So everything you want to know about the attribute, it's a kind of a refresher, and it tells you if it was progressed or if it increased. Now progression means you've moved from, say right here, 50 to 51, you've moved up some.
Right.
When you increase, that means you've gone from 50 into 51
Exactly.
territory.
Gotcha.
Then on that icon, you'd see an arrow going up and how much you gain. So you gain +1 or +2.
Okay.
Cool.
It's a nice little post-game summary. I like it.
So that's base gains. I'm going to answer a couple questions real quick.
Okay.
One question is, how do we get equipment? And it's the same as years past. You will be, I think it's like roughly every half an hour to an hour, you're just going to earn. They're going to give you an item, whether it be a card or a piece of equipment. Here, why don't you keep playing while I'm answering
Oh
questions?
no, this is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, pressure's on.
Oh, get down that line.
Right now. Boom.
R90.
So
ground ball,
I've
lost
seen
the
guys
defense.
online say, "Oh, I just play Road to the Show, so every item I get, I just go sell it to somebody else on the marketplace for stubs, and then I change it into equipment or what, if like every player item they get."
Yeah.
So that's one way to do it. That's really the primary way. You also, as many of you know, you earn stubs just for playing the game, and the equipment is pretty accessible on the marketplace. So you'll also, if you played last year, Ramon wanted me to plug that you'll get that loyalty reward at the beginning of the year. We give you like a piece of equipment, at least one, I think more than one maybe, but don't quote me on that, I guess. But we give you like one of each item type at the beginning of the game just for starting it up, and anybody that played the game last year is going to get a gold upgrade from silver on all those items. So
It's a nice boost to your player right away.
yeah. And then another question is, how will we be importing year-to-year saves? And you saw the archetype selection choice, and basically it'll kick you right into an archetype type selection choice.
Correct.
And it will, you will have the max caps. However, whatever attributes you bring in from last year will remain that way. You just will be capped out if it's over the max cap, and then you'll just be regressing as you play.
You'll settle into your new role. Yeah.
So, for example, if you bring in the all 99 dude, then he's going to really have nothing to gain. The progression system isn't going to really be in play at that point. You might as well call it a regression system at that point. Because you just, everything, it's going to be a maintain my ratings game at that point.
Correct. Oh, did you get it?
That's a
gone.
grand slam, ladies
Oh
and
my
gentlemen.
goodness.
No doubter.
No
Grand
doubter.
salami.
So
Nice.
just to recap,
Good job.
Kyle's first time on the stream, and he fielded a ball with one finger with the controller on the carpet, and then he hit a
confirm.
grand slam.
I
So
can confirm.
Totally.
pretty good first showing, if I
Good
may say
debut.
so myself.
Nowhere to go but down.
Question: why can't I make a capped player 99 everything? We just made a choice this year to try to take a more realistic approach. We've been thinking about it for a long time. We like we've always been about authenticity and realism, and we're in a quest right now to try to make the game multi-year quest to make the game as realistic as possible to what you would actually experience in Major League Baseball. And no one ever is or ever will be 99 in everything.
No.
I mean, that's the truth. So we try to balance between authenticity, realism in a video game, but we thought it was fun to have to plant that flag out there about what type of player you want to be, and you can adjust it, like we've said, and adapt it over time. There are going to be ways where you can push the limits past sort of max caps. As we mentioned how the year-to-year saves worked. I don't want to spoil too much, but there are kind of methods for you to be able to push things by the way that you might shift your archetype over time. If you start as in real life, some guys start as more of a ball hawk type of player, and then they might cultivate power later on and kind of almost have an archetype shift. And if they're able to maintain their speed over time and add power, then that's kind of how you end up achieving that 5-tool balance. But I don't want to spoil too much on it.
No.
Mike Trout is not a 99 in everything.
Nope.
He never has been, and he never will be. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Mike Trout's a great 5-tool player.
Yep.
Maybe I mean, arguably one of the best of all time,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
is not even close to a 99 and everything.
Right.
So you would be able to make Mike Trout in Road to the Show this year. It's possible.
Solid
Oh, yeah.
option.
Absolutely.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you dropped a
Yeah.
hole. Right.
Exactly. I was using that contact swing and I rolled over to first base, but the rest of the game I was using that power swing, so you can see the gains there.
Well played, Kyle. Let's exit out back to the front end, what we call the front end in development speak, which is like the main menu.
Yep.
And then we're going to show off a little bit of the UI real quick, and then we're going to talk a little bit more and show some videos about specific gameplay changes and bring some of these guys in to talk about those gameplay changes.
Just a quick note about the simming, you'll still get base gains like you would right there, but it's to a lesser degree. So if you play, you're going to get more base gains quicker.
Yeah. Definitely the encouragement to play
A little
every game.
celebration out there. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, is that it for you, Kyle?
I think that's it for
You're
me.
gonna come in.
Yeah.
You're gonna put on that kind of performance.
Hit on
Then
the
you're gonna
clinic.
drop the mic.
Absolutely. Hey,
All right.
it's good to be here.
Hey, man. Good to have you. Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks for coming. Kyle, also, for those of you wondering, it was mentioned on the Diamond Dynasty stream, is the guy who did the creative player missions in Diamond Dynasty.
That's right.
So involved in all the player progression this year. All right. So, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, what do we got here? So this is a little preview of what's to come. We're going to talk about this in the stream. This is going to be kind of the second half of our progression system that we'll talk about shortly. The coach is letting you know there's a batting cage open, and we will show you that in a little bit. But first, Steve, show us a little bit. We've done a lot with the menu this year. Maybe just talk a little bit about what we got.
So, as you may have noticed, we have a new front-end UI with the new main menu panels and everything and that look. So we just brought that look over into Road to Show with a little bit of more of a reveal on when you highlight one of the tiles. So, you know, if you highlight my player, you see your player, you see your team's logo, you can see the performance in the OVR. And then we have a sub-menu when you access it, so I can go look at my attributes and perks, my player comparison, edit player, edit equipment. Everything is available at one push, one button. Play of next appearance shows you who you're playing. Calendar shows who your next few games are. And then just like we do on the home front, we can L1, R1 over to different categories and get to all the stuff we had. I think before we had that, but then we had a bunch of tiles, so we just streamlined the whole process and made it easier. And then you may notice that social media is not up and in there.
They can't see it, yeah, because it's blocked by the couch.
The couch.
But
behind me, there's.
Can you take the couch off real quick, Matt, so they can see over there? No problem. Social media is back. Some people were asking. It is on call. There's a little. You see that?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
I'm
behind
mirrored.
you, yeah. But it's a simple flip of the R stick. So if you flip it up, boom, there you go. And then you just flip down and it goes away. So it's on as you want.
Wasted pick. This guy's saying they wasted a pick on me. Anyway, super realistic with the trolls and the media. I think we call them antagonists, and is the official term for those types of personalities in the social media.
The antagonist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so now people are asking if we can see the outfield camera and stuff, and that's what we're gonna transition in. We're gonna start with infield though. We're gonna welcome to the stream fan favorite Chris Gill. Come on, Chris Gill S.
What's up?
I don't know about the fan favorite thing, but
believe it, it's true.
I will quickly try to go through these and
we got some videos, right?
Show off some of these videos. I was watching you guys play earlier, and there's a couple of comments that were being made and asking questions, and I'm going to try to clarify those questions that people had about the game slowing down a little bit on contact and what we did with the cameras. So if you just pause it right there, let me just kind of go over what we're going to talk about here, Matt. And so right away you'll see that there's a camera change, and I only used third base. I did some videos of third baseman. I did some of the shortstop. Basically what we did was we changed the cameras. In general, last year there was a bug when the guy hit the ball and there was this brief camera shift that was really kind of confusing. So our main focus was to get rid of the frustrations that, and there was just a few frustrations in fielding and Road to the Show. And it was really examining the cameras, taking out some of those hitches that were there on the initial contact. Basically what the camera was doing was focusing on the ball, then focusing on the plate, and you'd get this little shift.
Right.
And the most subtle little changes or moves would get in the way of you fielding a ground ball, especially those hard ones that are right next to you. A few years back, we decided to give the user full ability to catch ground balls.
I remember that.
And so what that means is we weren't giving them any CPU help at all. So if a ball was hit to your right or left, if you did nothing with the stick, you literally would stand, turn, and watch the ball go by you. So it was your responsibility to start moving. Well, by us taking out that reaction time for you and helping you, it was humanly impossible for you to react like a real major leaguer or even a minor leaguer for that matter, no matter what your reaction time was. It just was impossible to be able to move that stick and get to a ball.
It was hilarious, actually. We didn't have, that was before we had the Showtime tech, right? So it was just
so, I mean, and don't get confused because, you know, if there is a ball that's hit in your relative area, we put you into what we call pre-pitch catches. So if we didn't do that, you wouldn't catch the ball. So if you don't have to run to your right or left or forward or back to go get a ball a certain amount of feet, we put you into catches, and your responsibility at that time really is to throw the ball, and your attribute takes care of your catch. So that being said, we implemented a slowdown feature when the bat is making contact with the ball. And all that does, it allows you a few frames, you know, hundreds of seconds to give you a reaction time. To give you what's up? I got guys saying stuff. It's confusing me. I can't talk and watch.
Really?
No, they're trading my hat.
You're going to upgrade.
All right, now I'm going to have to try to be smart enough to remember what I was talking about.
Sorry.
Okay, so anyway, the reaction time. So basically what the slowdown is going to do now, it's going to give you a more realistic reaction time. So I'll be able to fix this. I'll be able to, as a third baseman or shortstop, first baseman or second baseman, see that ball being hit off the bat, get my hand ready on the stick, and move at the appropriate time like a real player would move and give me that time, right? So if their ball's hit to my right or to my left, I'll be able to react to that ball as opposed to letting some balls. And I know the guys that are used to playing this are probably listening going, oh yeah, for sure. And the second thing that we did was we put a graphic on the field, a little arrow that's showing you what direction you need to move to go catch that ball. And the reason we did that was because from no matter what camera we put, and you know, obviously we're flipping the camera and Road to the Show, you're playing behind, you know, this started out years ago, it was right on the guy, and that made it extremely difficult to field hard hit balls. So we put it back now so you got a better view of the field, and I'll get into that in a second. But it's still difficult to know whether I should charge a ball, move to my right, move to my left, move back 45 or whatever. Unless you have some sort of sense of depth, right? And so that's what the arrows do. The arrows are telling you, oh, this guy got jammed maybe on a full swing. Well, it's a full swing, I might get stuck, right? And if I didn't have that arrow to tell me I need to charge. So I'm going to charge ground balls, and I will be able to not only react in time, but I'll be able to see what direction I need to move. So go ahead and play some of these videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And some of you guys noticed this right away when these guys were playing earlier. So on that play, you could just see, and you just play through on Matt, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see a slowdown right when the ball's making contact with the bat. Not too much, just enough time to get you oriented and give you an idea and a sense of which way to go. Now, for those of you purists out there, if you want to call yourselves that, we still have an option where you can go in there and turn this off. So it's independent of the Showtime itself. So you can have Showtime plays, you can have this reaction assist, you can have that off if you want, or you can have them both on at the same time if you want. So there are options, and you can play the same way you played last year if you really are a masochist, if you just like balls flying by you without being able to move, right?
All right, real quick, we're gonna throw the keyword out while you're talking, so that they can put it in for the sweepstakes. So the keyword today, you guys, is new couch. because we got this new couch.
New couch.
That is,
One word.
so soft. Yeah, one word. One word. New couch is the key word. You only need to put it in one time. Make sure you're on Twitch, because if you're watching via a forwarding stream from somewhere else, it won't work. So make sure you're on Twitch on our Twitch official Twitch channel.
Okay, so those last couple shots you saw the shortstop going to his left. You saw him taking himself on a double play. On each one of those, you're seeing the slowdown and you're seeing him react. Now here's a double play that he's turning, and the same thing. We give you the arrow and the direction of where you need to go. And I think there were some frustrations last year too with this, where some hesitation and being able to react to cover on a steal or on a double play.
Right.
So the covering's been solved as well.
Nice.
So with all those changes, and there was also a slow roller, which goes back to what I was talking about with slowing down and showing the arrow. That's super important. So unless you've done this hundreds of times, you wouldn't really understand what I'm talking about, but the differences are great.
It's hard to tell the depth perception, and now you see it and you know, okay, just like you do in real life, if you instinctually read that ball off the bat, you know, I got to charge.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's what we did with the infielders, and that goes for all the positions all the way around. One more thing to mention, I was going to go back about the cameras, which especially if you're playing shortstop or second base, super important to know where your runners are.
Absolutely.
So we backed the cameras up a bit. So, like this situation, you could see the runner on first base, where last year he was out of the view. And obviously in real life, you can see the whole field. So, you have to give and take on this thing. If you get too close up onto the player, we had to use the pips, so that you could see it. We wanted more like organic look, I guess you could say, the better feel of being on the field and actually, playing shortstop. I want to see those guys. I need to know before the play starts where the guys are. I need to know what to do with the ball, and that's what we're putting you in. That's what this feature is all about. It's you being on the field. Through the mic on the controller, you're going to hear where you should be throwing the ball. So if for some reason you had a brain lapse before the play and you didn't know where to go, they're going to be reminding you 2-2-2, 3-3-3. That'll happen on cutoffs as well. So if balls hit to the wall, when you're out there being the relay guy, the guys are going to be telling you where to throw. Bases are loaded. You might be having a play at third instead of home. So you might be thinking throw home, but then you hear on the mic 3-3-3. That's what the CPU is telling you need to do. So it's really cool. It's like hearing the guys on the field. It's like being on the field. And it's a big improvement from last year. They might seem small, simple things, but they're huge overall. When you play, if you're crazy and you're playing 162 games, or in the minors 40 or 140, whatever, 1, 2.
And when you combine it with the base gains we talked about earlier, you guys are going to really appreciate these changes that Gil's made, because the reaction matters. You need to be able to field these balls because they directly impact your attributes now. And so
that's another really cool thing too. One of the things that we changed general in fielding is really going to show up a lot road to the show, in the sense that, say we'll just use shortstop. We'll stay with the shortstop, for example. As you build your players, so let's say you want a power shortstop, a power hitting shortstop. You might not be the best fielder when you start, but you have ways to improve that, right, throughout your career. And so as you get better, you're going to start seeing your guy using the better animations more often. He'll still use them early, because if you've made it to this level, you're good enough to make those great plays. You'll make them. But it's the amount that you make them. And we want to separate our very best players from our worst players. So they're all going to use the same animations. But let's say you do max your guy as a 5-tool player at the end of his career. He's going to be making those plays 9 out of 10 times. And just going up the middle, and he's going to look like Ozzie Smith. Right? Where he started as a power guy. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's it for
Thanks,
me.
Gil. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
man.
Okay. Yep.
Nice. Got him. Again, Twitch. Must be on Twitch to qualify for the sweepstakes. I'm being reminded of that. I guess people are putting in keywords on other things.
Outlets.
You're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody's time. You're filling up the chat with useless garbage. Go to Twitch and then do it. All right.
No wins.
So now, as the as requested, we are going to talk about Outfield gameplay changes. And for that, they're going to switch the mics over. And when he's ready, we'll bring on Chris Muriel, another fresh face to the streams, to talk about it. You ready? All right, come on.
Fresh from the farm
Welcome
system.
to the new couch. Careful, it's very squishy. You'll sink right in there.
Definitely.
And it'll put you to sleep.
It's like Sleepy
It will
Time
put you
Key,
to
but
sleep.
in a couch form.
Yeah.
Welcome, Chris. Chris is focused on Road to the Show. He's a content implementing monster.
Absolutely.
And he's got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, starting with the outfield gameplay changes, right?
Definitely.
So, looks like, Matt, do we have that video ready to rip? Cool. So, what do you want to do? You want to set it up? Do you want to just play it?
Just play and then pause when you're seeing like the outfield there.
Cool.
Stepping up now.
Yeah, pause right there. So what we're seeing right here is the camera also is kind of like a little bit pulled out, so you can see more of the field, as Gil was saying, in comparison to last year. We wanted to make sure that when you are making some plays, that you are actually being able to make them and not the game trying to get in your way of making the plays. So now if you play the video, when the ball is hit, we're going to basically look at a cone that appears in the ground that points you towards the direction of the ball, and that makes it easier for you to go and field the ball. These changes are really important because last year there was some camera flipping.
Yeah. Play that again, Matt. Play the video again if you can.
Or you can play the next one if you want. It's another play.
These hits really, if you guys have played in the outfield in prior years, I mean, every year we're looking for a way to try to optimize this because it is just difficult to field out there. And these plays in particular that Chris is calling out were real hard to make last year. A lot of people struggled with them, and now it feels really good. It feels immersive because it's got that third, not a lot of camera cuts, right? It's that third person feel that you're used to in a lot of other games.
And the camera automatically moves towards the ball when you're like running, so you don't have to move the camera at all or rotate it or anything.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Smooth.
And I like how the cone goes from a wide to a narrow when you get closer to it, so you know you're need for it right there.
Orient yourself towards the ball. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
And I like how it's tilting up when you got to the wall, so it's really almost television quality at that point.
Yeah,
it's exactly what you see. So great job, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Outfield cameras.
Well, we can move on now to another area, which we teased a little bit earlier, and we've. What we did was we simmed through a few games and arrived at a time in the game where our player had a little free time, a little time to work on extra stuff. Matt, can you pull the game up? And so this is what you're going to see. Now, this is the first one ever. So you saw the coach come and let you know that there's a batting cage facility open for you to put in the little extra work. And this is kind of the other half of the base gains. The base gains on the field performance is important, and that makes up, at least 50% of your progression over time. But you're also going to have these things that are aligned to the schedule, right?
Yeah. These training sessions, you're basically going to get like 25 a season, and they pop up every time you have like a day off or somewhere where it makes sense that your player is going to actually make like an extra training session.
And so right now we've just got access to the batting cage, but as you'll see there, you'll get access to a lot more things as you play.
Exactly.
And so this UI is still like a lot of things, a work in progress, but we have got 3 different choices here.
Yeah.
What do you guys they're giving me hand signals.
We're going out clock.
3 o'clock right now, yeah. Okay, we're giving out things now. Things are going out now. Prizes. As we mentioned before, we're going to give away 2 digital deluxe editions of the game, 2 vouchers of 67,500 stubs. That's a lot. And we're going to give away 6 10 standard pack bundles, and those things are going out right now. Vic Reynolds is playing Santa as we speak. So back to Road to the Show here.
Yeah, so we have 3 choices right here. It's T drills, which improves your contact.
Right.
T power drills with it's a different choice because
Right.
there's two different types of choices. The ones that don't include a teammate are the ones that increase your attribute.
Right.
But the T-Power drill, since it includes your teammate Michael Saunders,
Yeah.
it will increase your cap, your power cap.
So yeah, so as somebody just asked, current cap, question mark, what does that mean? So one of the things that we learned when we talked to a lot of the minor league players and some of the major league players is how important it is to kind of simultaneously be thinking about what reps you're going to get in day to day that are going to help you achieve kind of your current potential of like where you know you can be if you just put in the work and the reps. But also they need to be thinking about how they're going to elevate their game in a long-term way, in a mental way, getting insights from other players that they play with, right? And so that's exactly what Chris has done here is if you will start off with, a lot of room for improvement at the beginning of the game from your current starting attributes to that sort of current cap. But you need to kind of then play the game of, am I going to try to rush my current attributes, right, to what they can be to get me to the major leagues and kind of put off the working with guys to improve my how good I can get, basically?
Yeah. It's a choice between the present and the future, what you want to work for.
And everybody's going to kind of balance that, but there's a lot of leeway in there. You can put in all the cap work ahead of time and kind of hit the MLB running maybe, but you might have spent a little bit more time in the minor leagues as a result.
And be better in the major.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then obviously which attributes you're improving. So this one's interesting.
Do you want the contact or you want to raise your power?
Do you want to go up
potential?
essentially 2 to 3 points immediately in contact? You've got a lot of buffer room in the current cap space, because the way I'm thinking about these things is you got to watch those current caps, because especially with base gains in play, you always want to make sure that your reps on the field, in my opinion, are going to be helping progress yourself. So you want to keep the long-term stuff in mind. But we got a lot of room, so we kind of choose whatever we want. What do you guys think?
I'd say right now, I'm brash and I'm impulsive, I'm young, I want the payoff now.
Perfect. So we'll go with the contact one, and then what you're going to see is you're just going to see your guy putting in the reps.
And you see your attributes increasing in the left part of the screen.
Boom.
You see your current cap and your max cap.
So there you go, putting in the work.
And then we have some videos of later in your career.
Let me see if I just sim through here. Boom, we get another one because it's an off day.
Yeah.
And so I just simmed a few games for those that didn't catch it to get to that off day between series where I knew that I'd have some time. And so now we've got different choices, right? Because these things are kind of emergent. So again, contact again, but we don't have that cap opportunity again. So you're going to have to think about when you see these things, do I want to seize the opportunity now, or do I feel confident I can get there over time?
Yeah, you might get lucky and get like all cap increased choices,
Exactly.
but it varies. So you have to be really careful what you want to do. Basically.
Let's stay impulsive. It's only been a few days.
Right?
I guess I should have picked a different one so they could see the fun little animations. Like Pilates is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll see
gonna
that,
see
in,
that
the,
later?
in the
Okay,
video.
cool. Can we do that now?
Yeah, Matt, could you play that video, please, of the hitter later choices? Yeah, so here we're later in our career with like 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
And you have, as you notice, we have like
Right.
the batting cage, we have a practice field and
Can
a
you
training
pause it, Matt?
facility.
So somebody just mentioned, it's going up 2 to 3 to 4 things. It depends, right? It depends on where you are, because the later you are, if you're really getting really close to that max cap, it's likely that you're not going to be able to make the biggest gains like back when you were in the minors or whatever. It's going to take a few more gains like back when you were in the minors or whatever. It's going to take a few more reps to get there, and that's illustrated here in some of the ways that you'll see there at the top, the arm accuracy one. The circle on the right is actually broken into 3 segments because that's actually 3 times as much progress necessary to reach it than one full circle down there on the aggressiveness one, right? So it's going to take a little longer to pump that arm accuracy up. It does depend on what attribute it is as well. Yeah. It's harder to drill power than it is, let's say, plate discipline or something.
And you can see also, it looks like you're at your current cap on some of them, so you haven't pushed your cap, or maybe you are, no, you're at current cap, so you actually can push your cap even further. You haven't hit, like, oh yeah, there you go.
The laddies.
One cool thing though that does happen is, you know, say cardio training there, you're at your current cap on reaction, so that's going to be a durability focused drill. It's not like you lost. Oh. There it is.
Oh, there it is. He's going to airborne. Going to airborne.
Thanks, Kyle Saul, for of course being amazing at doing ridiculous animations.
Yeah. You should see his Tai Chi.
I don't do Pilates, so I don't know if you guys do, but I'm really curious on like how the form, what kind of form Kyle exhibited there. Is that good form? Anybody in the chat who does Pilates, let us know if how Kyle's form is.
Gone.
They're gone?
They're done.
Woo! Vic just emptied his bag, his Santa Claus bag, and so they'll know if they won because they'll check what? Their chat, their DMs? Twitch inbox, Twitch message inbox DM for a win.
Cool. Now let's go to the pitching choices.
Cool.
So as you see, it's different. You have different. You don't have a batting cage. You have a bullpen instead, in which you can work on break, control, velocity of all your different pitches as you acquire them. You have practice field, and you do have some batting choices in the practice field as a pitcher. But mostly it's more pitching choices because that's what you are, you know.
I can tell this is the plain filthy guy because his hitting cap is in the mid-range of the 40s. He can actually swing the bat if you decide to a little bit. 40 is not. 40 is certainly serviceable for a pitcher, but you're gonna have to trade off if you want to get there. Whereas we know that flamethrower, that like Thor archetype, can actually kind of rake.
And then we chose bullpen, and we increased our change-up control and our base on balls per 9.
Awesome. You see those. So it's going to be fun to explore a lot of that different stuff.
Yeah.
Now let's see. So is that it for pitchers? We got all the like we took a look. We don't want to spoil too much. So you saw a little bit of everything.
Yep.
One thing that's changed also, as you guys recall, is that the way you would kind of regress, right? You would deal with father time and age and that kind of stuff has changed. So
why you look at me when you keep saying aging?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you have a painting somewhere that ages for you, I think, right? I don't know where you have it hidden, but one of these days I'm going to find it. No, so talk to me a little bit about the age regression. And
so when you get to 34 years old, at the end of the season, you're going to get a dialogue scene interaction with your agent. And Matt, if you can play that scene, please. And basically, he's saying, "Oh, you're now 34, like you're getting older and older, you know. So what do you wanna maintain?" And he's going to give you 3 choices. Could you pause there, please? He's going to give you 3 choices: either maintain your skills, maintain your strength, or maintain your athleticism. So basically, you're going to have to think about what you want to maintain moving forward, because if you don't maintain your skills, they will be decreased. So in this case, I think we can choose power and arm strength. Yeah. Matt, could you play again, please? Yeah, we chose power and arm strength to maintain, but if we go to our player attributes, we'll see that we dropped in contact, and we dropped in plate vision, and
you basically dropped
discipline, and then fielding, reaction,
time takes
accuracy,
its toll.
speed. And as you get older, and when you're like really old at age 40, you're going to be decreasing by minus 15.
I see somebody saying 34 is too early. Well, I don't feel like it's too early because I'm not 34 yet, and I'm certainly feeling the effects. But
Me too.
but no, you don't. You actually don't lose as nearly as much at 34. It starts low. I mean, it's certainly manageable at 34. But,
Yeah, you can get it back when you're in training.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Like you'll even see, like I've seen where some guys, they didn't even go down because maybe they had a good year of progression and they actually just got knocked down a little bit. And I saw another question, can you regress for having a bad year? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's where those base gains come in. If you're struggling at the plate, you know, personally, I like to play on a more challenging difficulty level because I like to try to struggle to eke out, you know, a 280 batting average or something, and I think it's fun to play the game that way. Yeah. So if you're just, you know, have a bad streak, you're going to see a lot more of those regressing attributes at the end of the game than you are the progressing ones. But it all depends on how you want to play the game.
Yeah.
Cool. Matt, can you bring up the game again real quick? Now, I'm told that I can't show a lot of the licensed equipment, unfortunately. Right. In fact, I can't show any of it, and the reason is because I guess a lot of these brands have not released some of their lineups yet, and we can't leak that kind of stuff. But I can show you some of these kind of silly ritual items that are all subject to change in the number of attributes, just to give you a concept of the type of thing that you'll be doing with equipment, for those of you that don't know, which probably everybody does. And I can equip a Rally Mantis, and that is frosting on top of all your other attributes. It's a completely independent system. You can make yourself better with this kind of stuff. This probably is an overpowered ritual item that will get nerfed by the time we launch the game for a gold. But just to give you an idea, we do have that kind of stuff. So, booyah. Other than that, I think I'll keep an eye out for questions. Can you ask to be traded at any time? How will that work? Yep. It's very similar to last year in that your agent will check in with you frequently. I mean, fairly frequently, and you can ask and let him know that you would like to find yourself on another team, and it's just going to be, well, what is the circumstances, and that's where those, like, a lot of those dialogue choices, you guys, really matter. It might not explicitly tell you so, but those choices are going to have a lot to do with the way that the team you're on, the organization you're on is perceiving you, the way that the agent is deciding kind of like what he's going to do for you. So, you know, experiment with that stuff and see what happens. Can the ratings exceed 99? He's still typing within your archetype. So with equipment, yes, they can't within there. As you saw when we went through the archetypes, there were no archetypes that had more than 99 as a max cap.
Correct.
And the equipment is actually built with that in mind. So it's likely that, you know, a lot of, like, if you put together the best bat or whatever and the best batting glove, you'll be about like exactly 125 or close to it by the
right. And it still allows you to train.
Absolutely.
Without the, you know, with the equipment, you can still train to your max potential, and just that's why it means even more to keep training and use the equipment.
They're
later.
Completely decoupled. We didn't want equipment to sort of cannibalize that progression system and that feel that you have in the game for progressing. So they're completely decoupled from one another. You can't, like, you know, you can be better by putting on a pair of shoes, but you can't progress faster, so to speak.
I saw one there that said, "Can you be a pitcher that hits a dinger?" Yeah, you know, obviously, if you're a flamethrower, you have a good chance.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. Yeah,
do the 100%. Bumgarner. Yeah.
Yeah. Even plain filthy, I think, if you decided you wanted to pick power opportunities when they came up to train power, yeah, you're going to be able to hit a few dingers. Put that power swing on it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, we'll keep an eye on the chat, but is now a good time to shift to the reveal of the attributes.
All right.
Of Albert Bell.
Nice.
Which they announced him last week or so, but Another amazing legend added to the lineup, Cleveland Indians. I remember, man, that team, as a White Sox fan, especially having to play them as often as we did with that lineup, and Albert Bell right in the middle of it was disgusting. Also, Albert Bell has the most home runs as a White Sox in a single season, which is an interesting fact.
That is.
He hit more as a White Sox in one season than even Frank did in any of his seasons, which is interesting.
That is. Now, I remember just more of his Indian days, especially with Atlanta and them squaring up in '95 and such. Yeah, huge.
I just remember him getting hungry all the time.
Let's see the attributes. Matt, give the people what they want.
There we go.
Boom. Nice.
Look at that.
Yuck.
Power versus
16
right.
power versus right.
That's disgusting.
Is gross. And that, I'm pretty sure that's higher than most of the other cards we've seen, with the exception of Babe.
I mean, still no slouch on the
no, I mean that is a
on power left or contact left. He still can handle lefty.
I think it's safe to say, like, if you were to compare this card, which is a 93 overall, this gives you an idea of how a lot of people were worried. Oh, they're nerfing cards or whatever to do the thing. We're not nerfing cards. No. This card is better versus right-handers. In my opinion, pretty obviously better versus right-handers than any card in the game last year, because of the 116 power versus right and 96 contact versus right, and it's a 93 overall, which kind of just speaks to like how crazy some of those immortal cards are going to be. It's going to be really fun to try to get those guys at the top that are just bananas. So. That's not even all that great, says a guy who doesn't understand how this works, obviously, because this card is ridiculous.
No.
So, anyway, yeah, so cool. There you go. Dude, that's it. I mean, that's it, you guys. So I'm not seeing any more questions coming through, and. But we will keep an eye on it and always trying to keep people up to speed on everything. Man, that is fun.
I rode the show. Excited.
Let's go.
Play it.
And we still haven't even revealed everything about MLB The Show 18.
Nope.
Do we pull? Can we pull the schedule up? Is that accessible, Matt? I'm sorry to throw it at you. It's not accessible.
No.
Okay. But still haven't talked about the new changes to our franchise mode.
Yep.
And that's going to be exciting. So, and the dev tourney. And there's so many new things this year. It's bananas. All right.
Dev tourney. Is that single or double elimination?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess usually we've done it both ways in the past, so I don't know. I don't think we've even set it up yet with the bracket or anything.
I was going to say, if it's not double,
usually it's double.
One and done Merca here.
I'm pretty sure it's usually double, but we play the losers bracket games off the stream, and we only play the winners bracket on the stream, I think. But anyway, we'll see. We'll feel it out. We'll have some fun. We'll show some people's ridiculous facial hair things when we do it. And that's it for us, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. See you next time. Can't
See you.
wait.
Thank you.
Peace.